$17 chicken nuggets, $15 juices, $625 caviar, $85 sweatshirts. These are just a few of the offerings at what's being called the Erewhon of New York City. Yes, that's right. On a cold Friday morning in Tribeca, hundreds of New Yorkers stood waiting in an hours-long line to get into a grocery store. Meadow Lane, the city's newly opened gourmet market.
Not to brag, but I was Meadow Lane's second ever customer as the second person to arrive. I thought we could do a little Meadow Lane haul.
Time has finally come for a Meadow Lane haul.
It's a very exciting day because it is a Meadow Lane haul.
When the doors opened, the staff enforced strict capacity rules. They only allowed 15 people in at a time, and they later increased it to 17 people. Outside of the grocery store, handsome bouncers dressed in black stood in front of the door to let people in. Like, is this an exclusive lounge or a place to buy eggs and milk? I'm confused. Shoppers were even limited on how many things that they could buy. They could only fill up one wicker basket of goods per person. Just as the hype was dying down for the Starbucks Bear Cups, another consumerism brain rot trend took its place. At this point, we're not even surprised anymore. Each new wave of hysteria feels like a rerun. A new overpriced product, or in this case, it's a grocery store, and then the sheep run like moths to a flame. Meadow Lane is simply the next chapter in this exhausting cycle where corporations are selling us the illusion of exclusivity, and people are lining up to prove that they're worthy of buying in. Let's discuss the Meadow Lane hysteria and what it exposes about a society that's so bored and so lonely and so easily manipulated that even an overpriced grocery store becomes a personality trait.
My friend and I lined up Saturday morning to be some of the first to try Meadow Lane. We waited nearly 2 hours, and I found it so funny that they hired these attractive male bouncers to guard the door. But once we were finally in, it was so beautiful. Right now, the lines are pretty insane. Overall, the store aesthetic and marketing is perfect.
Just some girlies in Tribeca trying to go to Meadow Lane. Hopefully they're open. Hopefully they're not sold out of everything. I think I'm seeing a line, you guys. Ooh. Let's get in it and see if it like moves. Okay, it's not terrible.
I think I've seen worse.
We've seen worse. It's up the front and it's all the way back here, but let's see if it moves. Update. We've decided we're gonna stay in line. We're getting closer. It's getting colder. It's getting colder. It's giving we're at the hottest club in town. Like the bouncer, like what's going on? Thank you. Wow. Oh my god, it's stunning. Osaka beef bowl. I'm interested. This is the most stunning olive oil I've ever seen. Can't even lie, it really is so lovely in here. It's literally the one hotel of grocery stores.
Meadow Lane was founded by 28-year-old Sammy Nussdorf, who calls himself Brokeback Contessa on TikTok. He's a former venture capitalist turned influencer whose family had a net worth of about $1.6 billion as of 2014. Meadow Lane's very name is a wink at his privileged life, as it's the name of an ultra-wealthy Hamptons enclave where his family estate is located. He has been building and teasing up the opening of this grocery store for several months. And when he finally announced that the grocery store was opening, some of the comments were, "Oh my God, a Thanksgiving miracle. Finally, something to live for in an NYC winter." Yeah, these are the most bored people you know, people who are desperately in need of hobbies and a life and a personality. At the grand opening of the grocery store, customers were wrapped around the block. Some of them arrived as early as 8 a.m. to secure a spot in line when the store opened at 11 a.m. A 30-year-old woman from Pittsburgh and another 30-year-old woman from Delaware told Vanity Fair that they're going to be taking off work to book a flight to New York to visit the grocery store. A 20-year-old woman told Vanity Fair that, quote, "This is my Met Gala." People online on opening day told Business Insider that they were, quote, cosplaying being unemployed and ditching their usual responsibilities to visit a grocery store. One 26-year-old told Business Insider, quote, "Having to explain to my 50-year-old boss that I'm taking off work to go to a grocery store was really something else." Another woman told The Cut that she came during her lunch break to the store's opening and waited online for 45 minutes to get in. And now influencers, of course, are posting Meadow Lane grocery hauls.
Hopefully you just watched me in Meadow Lane try and get all this stuff. Osaka beef bowl. That one was giving like Erewhon steak bowl, so I really wanted to try it.
The chicken salad,
Cacio pepe mac and cheese,
black garlic
raw,
dip,
and labna miso. Hello? Lemon miso labna.
This is very obviously conspicuous consumption if I've ever seen it. People are just buying these things just to show off. Same exact thing that we saw with the Erewhon hauls, where these influencers were like gasping like, oh my God, this is so expensive, hee hee ha ha, but I'm gonna buy it anyways. The only allure to these items is that it's expensive. And what a place of privilege to come from when you can actually take pleasure in the fact that something is expensive, because most of us are trying to get the cheapest thing possible. Most of us, when we go grocery shopping, are just trying to get whatever can nourish us for the most affordable price possible. But these people are treating going to the grocery store like it's a museum. When you stroll out of Meadow Lane with this blue and white checkered bags in hand, it's clearly a flex. And this is why I get so annoyed when people are like, well, you could just scroll. Obviously, these people want us to see this content. They're filming it on purpose because they want attention, they want commentary, and then every single time someone has something not positive to say, the sycophants are like, well, you could just scroll. Why do you care? People who are going to Meadow Lane and posting these elaborate hauls are clearly trying to signal to us that they have the disposable income to do so. And important to note that in a lot of these articles and the TikToks of people doing these grocery hauls, I'm not really seeing a lot of people who are just getting milk and eggs and potatoes, you know, like basic stuff. They're getting pre-packaged meals. They're getting things from the cafe, like the red Thai curry chicken salad or the soba noodles, the Osaka beef bowl. These are actual things on their menu, by the way. Didn't just make that up.
I'm gonna try the Chinese chicken salad. All the bowls. There's a beef bowl, soba noodle bowl, miso salmon. I've been wanting to try this for so long.
So many of these foods are aestheticized versions of foods that obviously originate in communities of color. What's getting sold as a West Village girly snack or a clean girl lunch? Yeah, it's just food that other cultures have been eating for decades. The same food, by the way, that often was labeled as stinky, as nasty, as gross. But with marked up prices and a billionaire's son selling it to you, now it's delish. Now it's a must-have. Oh my God. It's mostly affluent white people who are going to this grocery store and trying these foods like it's some kind of museum exhibit. Chicken nuggets, one of the most quote-unquote lowbrow foods that are out there. All of a sudden, chicken nuggets, oh, it's a luxury, darling, because it's $17. At the end of the day, it's all about being able to say that you got it. That's it. It's all about taking some content for TikTok, for Instagram. They are just performing their consumption for an audience. Never mind the quality, because people are saying those $17 chicken nuggets are raw.
Does that look like cooked chicken to you? Wait, not to be a hater, but I've been thinking about these all day. So I went to Meadow Lane this morning and I think my chicken nuggets were raw, and I thought I was just like confusing myself. And then I posted something on my story and people were like, oh, mine were raw too. Cut another one open. This was the one I like. Literally, the only thing I've eaten was this one, and I bit into it, and this is what it looked like. And I was like, that looks a little bit raw to me. I don't know, like, these are cold right now, but does that look raw to you? If it's just like, if they're just like juicy chicken nuggets, but I'm like, this looks pink. Most definitely looks like pink to me. So I don't know if I should like cook them more, or this is the one that I ate earlier, which I feel like is probably like does that look like cooked chicken to you?
Someone also posted a video of mice in the store. Yeah, gross, but never mind the quality, never mind the health and safety standards. It's trendy and all the influencers are going there.
The West Village girls love it, so you should too.
This is very obviously cut from the same cloth of the Starbucks beer cup mania that we just talked about. It is peak consumerism brain rot. The sheeple, yeah, they're going to buy overpriced raw chicken tenders just because an influencer told them to, just because it's trendy, just for the plot, because they are incapable of thinking for themselves. It's a vibe. That's all that matters. There's a hint, just a modicum of self-awareness with a lot of these people. They know that this is ridiculous, okay? But they still flock. They know it's overpriced, but they still cannot help themselves because they're so passionless. They're so devoid of any real meaning in their lives, any community, that they have to go to a grocery store that's trending on TikTok to feel something. And this, my friends, is the thrall of overconsumption. You know, in my last video about the Starbucks bear cups, there was a young woman. She was crashing out about not being able to get a bear cup. And she was like, I know I should probably touch grass, but there is no grass. The grass is dead. I have nothing else to look forward to. And that is sad. I can imagine that this is the same logic. This is the same situation of the people who are waiting in line for hours and hours in the cold in the middle of Tribeca to get into a grocery store. How sad that we've become a country of people who are so hollowed out by consumerism that this is all we have to look forward to in life. You know, the collective we, not me personally, and probably not you, because I know you're probably really smart if you clicked on this video, okay? But the collective we. And I get it, I've said it a million times before, this country, it strips people of dignity in so many ways. It strips us of community, of a sense of a future, the economic precarity that we live under. It makes sense to me why people would flock to consumerism to make them feel something as an opiate. Those social conditions create that sycophantic consumer. It shapes us into the people that rabidly defend billionaires because so much of our life feels so bleak, right? And so you feel like because your life is so bleak, you have to express yourself through shopping. And this is what makes you so much easier to market to. Your vulnerability makes you programmable. It makes you latch on to manufactured trends because you have nothing else to anchor you. And corporations understand this. They profit from your emptiness. This is why you need to fill your cup. You need to fight to fill your cup in other ways, because these corporations will exploit and weaponize your insecurities, your longing to belong. And what's more is that Meadow Lane is not even like a scrappy business that was built from nothing. Absolutely not. It's not some small business. The founder is literally a Nepo baby. He literally used his family's wealth to fund this venture. And people are rationalizing it because we crave this proximity to wealth. The masses will line up and hand him even more money. And you'll brag about it online too. They'll call it an experience or their Met Gala, when all it is really is just another example of how deep the manipulation runs and how easily it is for these brands to brainwash people, to control people, to do the stupidest things. This whole spectacle, this whole Meadow Lane spectacle is all emblematic. It's a textbook example of how corporations can manipulate us to keep us docile, can manufacture false needs. A lot of us think that we want the trendy cup or the $17 chicken nuggets. We're so obsessed with this trendy brand, but it's not freely coming from us as much as we would like to claim that. It's not. This is born out of the need to participate in what TikTok told us was cool, to love what others love, to do what influencers tell you to do. Learn to think for yourself, please, because we're so hooked on consumerism. We fail to see the disease of the whole, capitalism. While hundreds of people were lining up gleefully at Meadow Lane, none of them are ever going to challenge the power structures that the founder with his family's $1.6 billion fortune represents. Are you serious? They won't. They're too busy shopping. And this is exactly how the ruling class likes it. Give people bread, well, in this case, $12 gluten-free bread, and circuses, which in this case, the circus is the viral grocery store opening, and you'll keep them content enough to never question anything. And I know this sounds a little harsh, but this is low self-esteem behavior. No person who's confident with themselves, who's grounded in their personhood, would ever line up outside of a grocery store to get groceries that are overpriced, not groceries that they need, okay? Groceries that they literally just want because it's expensive. No person who is confident, no person with a high self-esteem is doing that. You could be a loser today and be a winner tomorrow. It's never too late to change. But yes, lining up outside of a grocery store in the cold for hours to get into a luxury gourmet grocery store owned by a billionaire's son, it's embarrassing. Inevitably, the Meadow Lane hype will die down, hopefully. The spectacle will move on. I mean, even if people keep shopping there, the spectacle will move on. And we'll be left with the question, are we consumers or are we people? And we're all consumers. We all need to buy things, but are we defining ourselves as people first, as human beings first, as citizens first, or consumers first? We will never be free if we keep acting like this. My hope always, as you guys know, my hope is always that people will wise up and stop acting like sheep. Because at some point, we really do have to decide if we are going to allow ourselves to be mindless human beings, if we're going to allow these corporations to drain our coins and our brain cells. You deserve more of a life. You deserve more than chasing brands, worshiping brands. You deserve more than worshiping influencers. You deserve more than worshiping the aesthetics of wealth. You deserve more. And it's not an overnight process. It's going to take reading. I've got book recommendations on my Instagram to get you started, but you need to take control of your life, because lining up outside of a Starbucks, of a grocery store, gargling the balls of the rich is very much loser behavior. And that, my friends, it's all I've got. It's all I've got for today. But definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on Meadow Lane and the hysteria around these luxury or gourmet grocery stores? I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you really liked it and you want more content like this, definitely hit the subscribe button, because I have plenty more like this. And if you want to see what I'm up to outside of YouTube, you can follow me on my social media profiles down here. And if you want to support me to help me create content like this and more, then you should definitely join my Patreon, where you can support me for $1.50 a month or $5 a month, all of which helps to keep the lights on here on my channel. And besides all that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all next time.